How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and hey look, a Gusto deck profile. Now this isn't at all going to be meta relevant or super serious because this is a fun deck and I really like it, and you know, a lot of people still like it to this day, but if you play it anywhere, you're going to get bullied. So my advice is just use it when you're playing for fun, I suppose. But this is my attempt at a current relevant version because, you know, it's still pretty fun. Now obviously, we're still relying on sprees, so it's basically pure Gusto, not necessarily focusing on anything else that could help when it would just get in the way. But anyway, let's get started. So first off for monsters are 3 Pilica, Descendant of Gusto. Now this is a great card. She's level 3 Psychic Wind, and what she does is when she's summoned, you go ahead and target a Gusto in your graveyard, or you target a Wind Tuner actually, so it can be anything. That's why, you know, you mix other things, but basically you're going to be targeting Gusto, and then you can special summon it. Now, you can't summon any other monsters this turn except for Wind monsters, but the way that it's worded, it states that you can't summon any monsters for the rest of the turn aside from Wind monsters, so that's one way to kind of get around it. Now for additional monsters, all the stuff that helps, 3 Gusto Goldo, and shoot, what am I doing? 3 Gusto Eagle, and 3 Winda Priestess of Gusto. Now, all of these are the rest of the floaters. They all have specific types of effects. Goldo when it's destroyed, or when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, so it's got the most viability. You get to special summon a level 2 or lower Gusto. Eagle, when it's destroyed by battle, you can special summon a level 4 or lower non-tuner Gusto from your deck. And Winda, when she's destroyed by battle while you control her. So this is the trickiest one. You get to special summon a Gusto Tuner from your deck. Now, effectively what this does is, you know, Goldo can summon Eagle, Eagle can summon Winda, Winda can summon Goldo, and it kind of works in that cycle. Obviously, Goldo can summon other things, Winda, and all of them can summon other things. Eagle's pretty neat because you can summon Pilica from the deck, and then you can bring back your Goldo. So it works out in that way. Now obviously, Goldo is the most useful, and I wish it were possible to play like 4 or 5 or just an entire deck full of him. The fact that he's a level 3 tuner and that Pilica is a level 3, they just mix so well, so you can go ahead and sync for your big level 6. Eagle's also really good. He's a little level 1, but most of the times when Gold is destroyed, you'll be bringing out Eagle because he's the most versatile. He's also the smallest, which helps in a way. I'll get a little more into it but later, but the big thing is that all of these guys float, and then she's your big kind of power play, I suppose, for the synchros. Now we do play a card, obviously, that allows your opponent to take all the battle damage for you, so that's really neat because then you can start crashing things into your opponent, and that's basically how the deck works. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but I mean, it's a pretty neat trick if you can pull it off. The only other Gusto monster is 2 Kamui, Hope of Gusto. He's a flip effect, so it's not that good, but obviously when he's flipped, you get to special summon a Gusto Tuner from your deck. Obviously, the #1 monster that you're going to want to summon is Goldo, because Goldo is just so good, and you want to get Goldo on the field as soon as possible. So, you know, Kamui's just helpful in that. He's also pretty weak, and he's a non-tuner Gusto, so that you can summon it with, you know, your other things, like with Eagle. So a lot of times, you know, if you're in a loop where you're crashing into your opponent and they're taking the damage, Kamui is what you want to summon with Eagle, because Winda being one of the non-tuner Gusto, she does have 1000 attack, so Kamui being a weak 200 is pretty useful. But aside from that, that's it for the Gustos. For just additional monsters, I have 1 Psychic Jumper. It's just he's a cute little card, cute little combo. It's a level 2 Psychic monster, so that helps you make level 6 with your other non-tuners with Winda and Kamui. And he does have an effect that you can, once per turn, pay 1000 life points, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and 1 psychic monster you control except for Jumper himself. Switch control of both targets, and if you do, their battle positions cannot be changed this turn. So it's kind of useful, lets you swap stuff. But mostly, he's a level 2 psychic tuner, which there's no other. I mean, you know, Gustos have their own level 2 tuner, but it's not that good. So just playing 1 psychic Jumper for that. Then Kaiju's, Gameciel, and the 2 big boys. You can up the Kaiju count if you want, but obviously it's, you know, it's like that. Of course, you play the big boys because you want to summon these to your opponent's side of the field so that you can go ahead and crash into them and game your opponent, because again, your opponent's going to be taking all the battle damage. Yeah, again, you can up the things. Playing Gameciels, because Gameciel's pretty useful. If it comes to the thing you got to do, like the Kaiju Interrupted Slumber, you give your opponent the Gameciel, then you take one of the big boys for yourself. You can switch up the count if you want, even summoning Gameciel to your opponent's side of the field. It's still respectable enough to crash. Maybe you might up the big boys. Drop Gameciel down to 1 maybe, and swap a Dogoran. I don't know. Play around with it if you'd like to use Kaijus or whatever. But that's it for the monsters. For spells, 3 Cosmic Cyclone and 3 Pot of Duality. This could be any other spell removal. This could be Mystical Space Typhoon, Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters is pretty cool because then you can discard Goldo and it removes more, but you do have to discard, and if you don't have the Goldo, then, well, whatever. Pot of Duality, because a lot of times first turn, it's like set Goldo, or summon Goldo if you want to intimidate your opponent, or, you know, maybe set Kamui. Helps you just draw some stuff because, yeah, the deck isn't, it takes a little while for it to set up. Of course, you know, it's best when one of your opponents, or when one of your monsters gets destroyed by your opponent. Then next turn you can start going off and stuff. But Pot of Duality just helps you dig further. For additional spells, got 2 Scapegoat, because that's a good card. 2 Creature Swap, because that's a cute combo, and I keep saying that. Scapegoat, now of course, you could use, you know, most people use these like summon a Mrs. Radiant, so you could do that. Oddly enough, Mrs. Radiant could, in theory, help this deck because it weakens your wind monsters, which is actually something that could help out depending on what your opponent has or what monster your opponent gets on the field, like, you know. So it could weaken your wind monsters and then you can crash into them. But regardless of that, you could also use it if you want to go the Link Spider route. You could do Bladefly, but like Bladefly does require wind monsters, which might sound good, but it's going to require you to use up your wind monsters, and it's like, well, if you can use 2 of your wind monsters, you might as well summon one of the Synchros. So it's just there. Also helps with stalling if you need it. Creature Swap, because you can go ahead and swap your creatures, man. You can give your opponent one of your floaters, take their big monster, and start going. You know, the cool thing is, you can give them a Kaiju, and you can take back the Kaiju with Creature Swap. And then you can start getting some advantage off of your floater. Again, you know, even Creature Swap them a Scapegoat, because that's pretty cool. For all the 1-of spells, Monster Reborn, 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, Emergency Teleport, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. All of this is pretty explanatory because, let's see, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, we got the Kaiju, so might as well play this because, you know, it's pretty cool. I am curious of the timing with Goldo and Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Not completely sure because, you know, Kaiju Slumber is a pretty good card. It doesn't matter anyway because you just keep it because you play Kaijus. Emergency Teleport, you can go ahead and summon your Psychic monsters, which is great because Pilika, being one of the really good cards, you can go ahead and bring it out from deck. You can summon a Goldo if you have it in the grave, or even if you normal summon Goldo, and then you can Emergency Teleport to your Pilika. As long as you sync with them for this turn, you're going to get something going on there. Foolish Burial, normally it's not something in Gustos, but I find it pretty useful because you can go ahead and Foolish Burial Goldo, get it in the grave, get it started up, and then if you have Pilika in hand, or again, Emergency Teleport, you can just bring it back out. 1-for-1, we do play 1 level 1 monster, and any other summons that you can get are very good. Again, 1-for-1, hey, you can discard Goldo, and then Monster Reborn is just there because it's good. That's it for spells. Traps are simple. 3 Torrential, 3 Storming, big board wiping stuff. Now, Storming is pretty neat because it bounces stuff. Traps aren't super important because, again, you kind of want your stuff to get destroyed, but that's why we play 3 Torrential. Because Goldo's effect states that when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. Now, the other ones do need to be by battle, but Goldo, just as long as it's on the field and it gets to the graveyard, so Torrential's great. You can set your Goldo, Torrential during your opponent's turn, wipe their board, and hey, you get a plus off of Goldo, and you can start setting up for next turn, and that's it for the traps. Now, I don't want to go super deep into the extra deck, because it really doesn't matter. I don't really even have a full extra deck. Daigusto Goldos is pretty neat. You can you can destroy face-up monsters by shuffling Gustos from the graveyard back to the deck. That's pretty cool. But the main one, Daigustos Freeze. Now, Daigustos Freeze is a great card because it lets your opponent take the battle damage from your Gusto monsters. Now, the full effect is that when it's summoned, you can target a Gusto card in your graveyard, add it back to your hand. So that's really great because if you summon it with Goldo and Pilika, which you're probably going to be doing, you really should. Summon it with Goldo and Pilika, send the grave, you can use the effect to get back Pilika, leave the Goldo in the grave, and next turn, hey, you can do it all over again. Freeze itself can't be destroyed by battle, and it also works for itself. So the effect that your opponent takes all the battle damage from battles involving Gustos, it works for itself, and it only having 2,000 works pretty well. So you can go ahead and crash into, like, you know, one of the big kaijus for 13, and then you can do some other neat stuff. Now, typically, if your opponent has something big, you can go ahead and attack with this freeze. And then, if you are able to have an eagle, which, you know, typically, Goldo on the field, set it, gets destroyed, special summon eagle, your turn, summon Pilika, Pilika effect, summon Goldo, sync them for freeze, and then freeze you can get back Pilika, that's kind of cool. Eagle is on the field already, so you know your opponent has a big monster, you can go ahead and crash into that monster with this freeze, take some damage, Eagle's still on the field, crash into it, they're gonna take 3,100, and then on top of that, Eagle can go ahead and summon Kamui, and then Kamui can attack, and then that's some big damage, if you go that way. Now, if you're able to have a Goldo, then you can go Goldo to Eagle to Kamui, like that, and then that's game. With just Freeze and Eagle, that's not game completely, because again, you know, 1,300, and then 6,100 each, that's just barely the 8,000, so again, it works best if you're able to have Goldo, because Goldo can cycle to Eagle, Eagle can cycle to Kamui, and then that's definitely 100% game. But anyways, Freeze is just the backbone of the deck. Like I said, kind of the one-trick pony, but I mean, hey, it's a pretty good trick. This is the rest of the extra deck left over from when I played it, just a bunch of other win stuff, which, you know, it's kind of cool, because, let's see, Pilika does restrict you from summoning anything other than win for the rest of the turn, so, I mean, that's that, but whatever, just play some better cards. Again, for links, like I said, I don't got full links, but play whatever, because you can link up to them or whatever. You got Mrs. Radiant, you got Bladefly, play those. Anyway, that's it for the YuGiOh deck profile. Now, obviously, this is a terrible deck. Again, play it if you want to get bullied, or play it if you really like the shiny birds and the cute girls. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You have any suggestions? If you want to just ruin this deck and try to make it actually good, nope, that's not going to work, I don't think so, but let me know your suggestions, let me know how much you like this deck or anything else, and let me know, let me know if there are any other dead old decks that you'd like to see attempted to be revived, because I find it kind of funny. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like, subscribe, if you're new, enable notifications, click that bell icon or whatever. Anyway, this has been King of Feral Imps. Have a nice day.